Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 88 miles per hour. 88 of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe, the Panther the Third. And now, introducing to the mic, my partner in crime, the bad guy, of course, the happy heel himself, from on top of Metal Mountain, the happy heel himself, the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everyone? And then I expect that big echo. What's going on, Joe?
Not much. By the way, thank you to MCWF for an awesome T-shirt they sent us. Geek will be getting his when he gets back to the Geek Lab. But thanks so much for the T-shirt.
I'm on location right now, so
he's coming live from location from a nice place he's going with his Geek Mom and Geek Dad. Hello there. So Geek, what's going on, man?
What's going on? How's it going? So doing great right now.
We're up to number 2 in British Wrestler Week. So you excited?
I'm so excited, dude. Ready to go. We're going across the pond right now, and it's so weird, man. Yeah. We're just like sneaking over there through the Wi-Fi, right?
I hope our mod doesn't get excited and see something she wants to grab. The Wi-Fi. Okay, this man has been in our chat since the Kiara episode. By the way, thank you, Kiara. Thank you, buddy. Hope everything's okay with you, boo boo. Let's give a warm. Finally see him on screen, and we saw him on Geek's birthday bash. But let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the one, the only, Riley
FTGU's own Riley Messures.
Nice. What's up, guys? Can I literally just say that when we started this, I have Twitch notifications on. So I got the notification that the podcast was starting, and my natural instinct was to click it. And I'm like, no, can't click it because I'm on this one. So starting off really good.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Welcome. See, he has an actual face. He's not just a picture of him going off the top rope. It's the real guy. See? Hey, what's going on?
What's up, James Nation? What's going on?
Welcome, James Nation. So, hey, Riley, if the fans are not familiar with you, introduce yourself.
So I'm a 19-year-old. I'm a teenage wrestler. I've been told a lot that I look like I'm in my 20s, but I am only 19. I am from Leicester, England. I'm from FTG Wrestling, trained by the amazing Gareth Harris, who did all the. I don't know if you guys knew this. He did all the wrestling training on the film Fighting with My Family. He's the guy that did all that training. So he's been training me. I've been going for 4.5 years now. So I'm getting on a bit.
Wow.
That's amazing. And that was a great movie, by the way. Were you
It was amazing. Yeah.
Did you ever get to take part in the movie or?
No, there was a few guys I trained with that took part in it. The guy, Gareth, you can actually, I think there's a bit in it where they're wrestling a cage and he's the referee. So he makes a little cameo in there at some point. But yeah, there's a few people I know that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. You're the second person that had somebody that was referenced the page, because we had Annabelle come on the podcast.
And Echo Reed.
What?
Echo Reed too.
Echo Reed. So I wish we could have got Echo to come back for this week, but you know what? I'm going to say it now. Echo Reed will be our last interview of 2021.
Oh, dropping the big announcements.
Yes. Echo Reed is our last interview for the season 1 of Dudes at Ringside podcast. So right now, breaking news, Echo Reed will be Joe and Metal Geek's last interview for 2021. So it's awesome to have our buddy back. And it's so awesome to have you in person, Riley. Being insulted by
Mr. Chad Epic.
Mr. Chad Epic and Tamaku going after you savage style.
We're like this. We're like, please, Riley, don't hate us. Please. We don't condone anything we don't condone anything that happened. But it's like, and then your phone and then you just go, and I'm like, great. He's gone. He's probably gonna cancel now on us.
Never.
James, one more last. You forgot to write one more last. Last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. It's funny you took you always watch our show, so you know that was the first question I always ask: who trained you? like
I know what's coming.
You study your dudes at ringside homework pretty much.
Yeah, you've known it since before I had the cool microphone and the cool logo made by my buddy Colin. You've watched us. I gotta put the light on. Don't go blind, Joe. There we go. Now we're ready to rock. You watched us since the beginning. So
I've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Out of all of our episodes you've watched, which one has been your favorite?
I think it's got to be the first one I watched, the Kiara one.
A lot of people love the Kiara one.
Yeah, it's a very good one, that one.
That's a lot of people. Like my girlfriend, that's probably her favorite episode. My mom never watches our show, but that's because she's not into wrestling. But she said, I absolutely love that episode. She's like, she was fascinated with Kiara. She's like, she went to Cambridge University and she's wrestling. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just every time I think of Kiara, I think of she, in the sweetest way possible, opened the door for us to get all the British wrestlers.
Yeah.
International.
She opened the international door on our wall, like the
she
door.
Opened the airport for you guys.
Oh my god! And she opened the door. I was thinking, I saw her walk in, and I'm just like, Joe, we're doing an interview. We are doing an interview. We are, Squirrel. Like, the woman helped us get our name out in England, and I even said this to people at work. I swear it'd be like if we ever took a trip to England and we told people that are watching us in England, it'd be like the Beatles as we were walking to the airport. I wish. That'd be cool. But
if we come to England, we're definitely letting you know, Riley.
Definitely.
You're definitely,
Definitely.
And you could drink in England, right? You could have beer, right?
Yes, as long as you're 18 or over here.
Oh yes, we're totally gonna get a case of beer and just get some. Is there good pizza places in England?
I don't like pizza myself, but we've got like Domino's, Papa John's.
Okay, you like tacos, right?
We got Taco Bell in certain places.
Okay, I'll be the one that buys the party box, and I'll buy the tacos. I'll buy the beer and buy the tacos. We'll be hanging out and just chilling, just drinking. We'll do. You know what? Here we go. We'll do a show with you not as the guest, as we'll do like commentary for something.
Yes, some form of pay-per-view.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
If you're doing a show, we can go to your show and do live reactions at the front row. So, there we go. Go.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Who would be your inspiration for you becoming a professional wrestler?
Oh, my inspiration. I really should have thought of answers for this before I came on, because now I'm really on the spot. Inspirations. I initially didn't have one. The first memory I have of this will probably be a question later, but I'm going to say it now. First memory I have of wrestling was I was 8 years old, and it was that Raw where The Miz cashed in on Randy Orton. That was the first bit of wrestling I ever saw, or that I can remember. It was Miz cashing in, and I immediately was kind of hooked. I was like, oh, I really don't like this guy. I want to see what happens next week. And I've just been watching every week. So in a way, he was kind of like the catalyst for all this. So in a way, kind of the Miz, but then you take on other wrestlers that I enjoy watching, mainly underrated people, so like Cesaro, Chad Gable, R-Truth. Even when he's not doing the 24/7 stuff in the ring, he's a solid performer. So people that kind of fly under the radar, they're kind of my inspirations.
I'm so surprised Vince McMahon has not done anything with Cesaro yet.
Yeah, apart from that one match with Reigns, I'm surprised he's not kept him at the top.
Because there is no Swiss wrestlers in WWE at all.
No.
None of them. I'm surprised Vince is like, this is our guy right here. We'll make him our guy. You know what I mean? Because
I honestly thought when it was like 2013 and he was US champion, I thought they were gonna like make him the new William Regal, the American hating. Let's get rid of the US title. Let's bring back the European title and make him this huge deal. But
you could have made him a heel, and he would have been so over as a heel.
Oh, so, definitely.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh. My guy is always Geek knows, as you know, I'm the face on the podcast, but in WWE 2K19, Kid Crazy is a heel. And I won the Intercontinental title, immediately dropped it, and got rid of it on the universe. And I brought in the Universal title.
Oh dear!
Yeah, how dare you?
Not that belt.
People were like, "What the heck?" If I could do it in the storyline, I would have did the what's name with the garbage can.
Oh yeah, Medusa.
I would have dropped the IT title in the garbage and brought back out the European title.
That's something I think you would have done with the AEW title if you would have won it.
Oh yes.
Joe is the biggest AEW hater.
I'm not a hater. I just don't like the way that they were supposed to come to Madison Square Garden for Ring of Honor, and they didn't show up.
Oh.
I love Ring of Honor, so I represent the indies, man. Ring of Honor is like the top tier of indies before you go.
I don't consider Ring of Honor indies anymore.
I don't know. I do still.
I consider it mainstream.
So, Riley, where would you like to, if you had a chance to travel anywhere in the world, where would you travel to wrestle?
To wrestle, probably the States. Definitely come over to the US and definitely learn a lot of stuff over there, because the way that we wrestle is, from what I've seen, is so different to how you guys wrestle. We're kind of more psychology and like the stuff that the US people will spend 2 minutes on in a 20-minute match, we'll spend 15 minutes on it in a 20-minute match. So it'd be nice to kind of learn some American stuff as well.
Yeah. Our style is a little bit different than your guys' style. You guys have like the European uppercuts, the British strong style. You guys have, and we're more like the Ric Flairs. You know what I mean? Like the more about the wrestling aspect of it. And but so it's for you to switch it up with like an American wrestler would be so different here. It'd be a great change. What's the word I'm looking for? Clash of the styles.
Yeah, it'd be a nice challenge as well.
I could, if you ever come to New York to wrestle, Riley, please let us know. I will crest off from work and stay at Metal Geek's apartment lab for like a week just to say, when he's wrestling, Joe, you were supposed to wrestle on Saturday. You came on Monday, man. Really at work. I'll sleep on the Geek's couch and just wait and be like, I'm ready. I'm already here. I'm not leaving. Like, yeah. We will follow your car to the next city.
That's if Joe shows up, man. We were hoping he was going to show up to the last wrestling show, but he had stuff to do.
Obligations. But I live in Pennsylvania, as I said to you before live, and sometimes I can't get out to Long Island. But when I come, it becomes a big thing because, as you know, I came in during the middle of an interview with Rebel, and it was hilarious. The mod, ever so spiffy's on the screen watching, and then you hear me pop in the background, "Daddy's home." My mom's like, "Ew, you said Daddy's home?" I'm like, that's the first thing that popped in my head, like in Ghostbusters. That's the first thing that popped in there. Well, I'm kind of like the daddy on the podcast. I'm the geek is more like the strict dad. Like, no, you can't go anywhere after hours. I'll be like, you can go after. You're allowed to go out after hours, but you have to make sure you're in at a certain time. Be in before 1 a.m. That's I'm the cool dad. I'm drinking a beer. It's like, here, don't tell mom. Here. He could be like, you can't drink that. She's only 17. Shh. Don't go anywhere. Drink the beer with me and just hang out. I'll light one for you here. We'll watch wrestling. Hey, we got another friend here.
What's up? What's up, Brandon? How's it going?
Oh, nice.
Another one of our
How's
friends. Actually, he's being trained to be a wrestler right there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you could ask him questions there, friend. You could ask him questions. He will definitely answer your questions. Make sure
Ask me anything.
Brandon, your dad's gonna shave Joe's stash. Is that correct?
Oh, he thinks he's gonna get me, but he thinks he's gonna catch me. He may be taller than me, but I know how to run really fast. So I'm like Ray.
Yeah, we missed you over at the VPW show this week, Joe. You know?
I would have been goofing on the wrestler. So yeah, go ask him questions. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have my fun Joe questions. I know you say you don't like pizza, but what would you say your legitimate food is when you're like, I'm hungry, I want to get?
Usually I'll always check the fridge or the freezer. If pasta's available, I will take pasta, any kind. But if I have to go out and get something, it's KFC all the way. Nothing tops KFC.
See, this is why you need to come to my town, Milford. Like,
do they have a lot of KFC?
Oh no, my job key food, which I always talk about religiously. My boss thinks it's hilarious that I talk about them on the podcast, a wrestling podcast. Our fried chicken in our store, we had Popeyes, and my mom's like regretting it now because it was had a weird aftertaste, made her mouth like pasty. Our fried chicken in my store does not give you that salty aftertaste thing like some places do. It's just good. It's like weird. It's like, oh my god. My supermarket makes fried chicken that makes you want to cry. It's so good. See, thanks, Junior. Now you know that I talk about you in a positive light.
What was your first match like in front of a crowd?
So my first match, I remember, it was in November 9th, 2018 was the first time I had a proper match. The year before, I was in a cameo in a Rumble, but I don't really count that myself. November 9th is always my debut. For the few shows before, I was a referee for about 4 or 5 shows before, just to get some ring experience. And then our old referee, a guy called Andy, who was an amazing guy, glorious ginger beard, he left, so I refereed the entire show. And I was like, oh, I'm getting good at this refereeing stuff. I can't wait to do it at the next show. And then after show, he's like, oh, yeah, you're wrestling at the next show. I was like, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, it was a tag match. It was me and one of my good mates. He might be watching this. I'm not too sure if he's asleep. He's in Luxembourg at the minute. Ilano Stone. He's a great guy. And we took on 2 masked guys called Vortex and Kung Fu Legend, who are kind of comedy characters. So, yeah, it was a really good night.
Yes. So when you told me you were a referee, did you ever have to take any ref bumps or?
Yes, I did.
And I know did you ever train for them? And did you actually take them? That's the next question.
There was no kind of like crazy ones. It was kind of the casual wrestler pins you in the corner to complain about a decision and then moves out the way as someone charges into you. I had one where the bump was like, because it was a tag match and it was 2 huge guys, and they were like, when we kick out, we're gonna like press him as high as he can, and he's literally gonna splash you, so you're out for a few seconds. But yeah, I was training to be a wrestler anyways at the time, so all these bumps were kind of natural, so they weren't too bad.
Yeah. So basically, you did the splash in the corner where the guy goes, where he runs and then he hits the referee by accident.
Yeah.
I know that bump. Yeah. But nothing too crazy where you were put through a table or bump.
Oh, nothing. I'd love to go through a table. I really want to go through one, but no, nothing that mental.
So I saw a few of your pictures on your Instagram. Like, what would you say like your legitimate wrestling style would be?
So my style is very kind of, I kind of stick to a rigid kind of British kind of style, but I bring out a rough patch if I need to. Like, there's some of the matches where I'll throw out some vicious strikes if need be, but a lot of it is kind of, let's do some technical stuff that hardcore fans will like. Though the people that kind of watch like stuff like AEW would be like, this is really boring. But to us over here, like a fancy escape from a wrist lock is amazing. And because we do family friendly shows, we don't need to do all these kind of like massive moves to pop the crowd because they're kids. So the smallest thing is going to make them go mental. So we've kind of been trained to focus more on the little things than go into these huge things. So it's kind of an old classic British style.
But is it every like wrestling show pretty much family friendly nowadays?
There's
you know what I mean? It's like
there was one
there's some
in my village that I can't remember the name of who they did it, but they were advertised as family friendly. And in the middle of their poster, there was a picture of a guy in a submission hold, but he had a barbed wire baseball bat on his forehead and there was blood everywhere. And it was advertised as family friendly. I thought, how are you doing this?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that is not family. That is the opposite of family friendly.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the only one that I would not consider like family friendly, maybe GCW or CCW. Like, that like King of the Death matches, stuff like that. But majority of the shows nowadays are pretty much all family friendly.
Yeah, I think it's because kids more the people that are into wrestling. So if we can bring them in, if you bring families in, you get more money than just bringing in a single person.
Exactly. Yeah. So
kind of makes me laugh because like people have asked us like, what is your limit on guests? Like, what kind of guests would be like I don't think we like, but it's like we don't want to deny anybody because we're all wrestlers and we like to talk about wrestlers from all over the world. But like the death match ones get us a little.
Yeah.
Well, no, they get Joe that way.
Kind of like go.
I mean, it's like if you're a podcast, you have to pretty much cater to everybody.
Yeah, I kind of cater to them, but I'm kind of like, we are having
Kenny
Copeland, and she does that. Like she uses, if you're not busy, you'll be able to watch it in October.
Yeah.
She does a lot of like steaks, those things that you like put the food on in the forehead.
Yeah.
And there's the new age ones that they stick the steaks in your forehead. Like,
I know what you're talking about. It's not a steak, but it's like you know those little stick things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
she does those. And there's another female that's coming on a podcast, Jesse James. Jesse James. She does that too. But she
did you have her on before?
No, we didn't have her on. No.
There was someone I remember, must have been about a month ago or so. You had someone on that for like 15 minutes. She was speaking about like deathmatch kind of spots she'd done.
Oh yeah, that was oh my god, I can't think of her name. Oh yeah, no, that was she's from Boston. Yeah, she's another one. Yeah. I know you talk about Raleigh. Yeah.
You talk about Delilah Hayden or
Delilah? Was it Delilah?
Might be.
Yeah, she has some spots that I was just like the
wooden box match was absolutely ridiculous. It's like it was basically a wood match, so you probably think, okay, tables, kendo sticks, this and during this match, they had a wooden box. They brought it out during the match,
Jesus.
And the box had spikes, like wooden spikes on it, and they got suplexed on the actual box.
Oh no. So much. Yeah, I'm not taking anything like that.
So yeah.
So as Geek keeps talking about the we mentioned the death match. What is the match that if like someone from a show promoter said, okay, Riley, we're gonna have you do this match, and you're like,
no.
What is the match you'd be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Anything to do with needles is a big no for me. I hate needles so much. So if they were like, if someone came up to me and was like, are you going to be in this match? And the end spot is someone's going to jab you with a needle. I'd be like, no, I'm grabbing my stuff and I am leaving right now. I am not coming on the show.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we had like wrestlers that on the podcast that were threw cinder blocks at each other. I'm like, dude, how do you guys do that?
Yeah.
So cinder blocks are the problem. And then there was one with Legos and thumbtacks. And what do you think the worst is, thumbtacks or Legos? You'd say
Legos, definitely.
Legos, because I mean, wrestlers always tell me, they say, they say Legos hurt the most, but thumbtacks hurt when they're coming out.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you've got like 60 thumbtacks in your back and you have to pull each one out individually.
That.
Do you ever get a chance to watch any of the American stuff like Ring of Honor or WWE or AEW?
I don't watch much anymore. I just kind of keep up to date with all the results. I try and watch every pay-per-view of like WWE. I never actually got into AEW, and I always wanted to get into it. And then, what was their last pay-per-view? Was it All Out?
All Out. Yeah. All Out was the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good pay-per-view.
There was a clip of the Young Bucks and the Lucha Express or whatever they're called.
The Lucha Brothers.
The Lucha Brothers, yeah. I saw a clip of those two where it's like they did like a square of super kicks to each other. And I was like, what is going on? Like, you just kick someone in the face and you're completely fine. I was like, that annoys me so much.
No, what they did during that match, they had thumbtacks taped to their shoes.
I saw that. I didn't understand any of it, but I was like, okay, this is about to get mental.
So they kept super kicking the Lucha Brothers. The mask started peeling off because
God.
And they were both busted open from that.
I mean, nasty, creepy, bloody. I was like, what is this on that they have not gone to commercial and made the screen gray? Like, what is this on right now?
It was a pay-per-view, so they couldn't go to
I was so confused. I was like the dog staring at the answer machine. I was like,
you pay for it, so you might as well get it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they can't show that stuff on TV. That's why I'm so surprised the Nick Gage and Chris Jericho match went on TV like that.
And they also Domino's'd it. Pizza had a promotion. As he's using the freaking pizza cutter, I was like, what the fuck?
And all the memes started after that with Domino's. It's like Domino's said, okay, you don't want to be the sponsor? Okay, Pat's Blue Ribbon, come on down.
It's funny. He's drinking, so it makes me think of our interview with Orlando, the radio disc jockey.
Is it what? That's water or liquor you got?
It is lemonade.
Lemonade.
Okay, I'm getting all excited because I'm thinking it's just like when we had Orlando on the podcast, and like Orlando was drinking. Was it whiskey that day, Keith?
I have no idea. He was drinking something, you know?
Yeah. Oh, just. Okay, so do you collect anything, Riley?
I have recently, the start of this year, got into video game collecting. I'm trying to collect a ton of consoles and some of the games for each console. So
that's awesome. How far have you gone with like the collecting, like old school?
So it really started when at the start of this year I got an N64. I'd never had one, and I always wanted to get one. Right now, I've got to think. I think, including handhelds, I have almost 15 different consoles.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Do you have GoldenEye for the 64 or no?
I do, yes, but I still need to get an expansion pack. I've literally had GoldenEye for like 4 months. I'm like, every week, I'm like, this is the week, then I'm going to get an expansion pack. And then I'm like,
GoldenEye is the king.
We'll wait till next week.
I love that game, GoldenEye. And also, I love playing the old either WCW game or the other game that was WrestleMania 2000. That one, so good. But I'm the stupid idiot that always picks Rey Mysterio in the WCW game. Like, I'm going to win. 5 moves in, my friend hits me with a power bomb. It's Kevin Nash, and my Rey Mysterio picks his head up and then goes, KO. I'm like, after 5 moves, I'm like, Ray, really? And I went, oh yeah, we're talking about Kevin Nash giving you a power bomb. It's like Rey Mysterio, cruiserweight. It's like, wham, KO. Aw, that was not fun.
What's the dream promotion you want to go to?
NXT UK, definitely.
That's a dream promotion. Yeah.
Well, if you make that ride, you're coming back.
We are. You're going to be basically we're gonna shove everybody out of the schedule, and we're gonna be like,
oh God, Riley, I will. If we had Becky Bayless, I'm gonna say that name randomly because that's Geek's favorite, Geek's ROH crush from back in the day. I would cancel her. I wouldn't even tell her. I'd ghost her and like, Riley, here's the code. Don't tell Geek you're coming on. And I would say, I hate asking for wrestlers for T-shirts.
We say before you sign the contract, make sure you make an appearance on our podcast.
Like that T-shirt we got.
If I signed, you'd know because you just get a message of like, lads, we've done it.
I would say, Riley, beforehand, grab 2 T-shirts from the studios, and I'd send you the address, and we would wear the T-shirts proudly, the NXT UK T-shirt, or I'd do it like this. I'd put it in the background, and be like, so this episode is brought to you by NXT UK.
I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but if NXT UK is still around.
I heard they were going to get rid of it, and I was like, no, you cannot get rid of it because it is amazing.
It is amazing, and they're going to bring all. I really hope that the rumors aren't true, where they're going to bring all the UK talent to NXT, the other United States.
Yeah, they just not got room for them. That's the issue.
And the new look, what is this? Are we going back to the 90s Nickelodeon with the tie-dye thing? Or is that Jude Love becoming commissioner? Because that's the colors.
So, all I'm thinking is ECW Bubba Ray Dudley, where he used to have the tie-dye t-shirt. Was it Bubba Ray or Devon? One of the two.
No, I swear, it's Vince and Kevin Dunn are probably looking at Joe and say, we need more colors. Yeah, more colors, right?
They definitely asked one of Triple H's kids to design the NXT logo.
Oh my God!
Yeah, get them some paint.
I was thinking Nickelodeon. I'm like,
more colors. It needs to be more colorful.
That looks like Nickelodeon. Like, all that when they splash the paint on the door, on the windows and stuff like that. So it looks like all that.
It does look like Vince has just figured out what Microsoft Paint is, and he's just experimenting for the first time.
Imagine Vince heard you say that. He's like, "Oh, Riley, you're not going to X2K. Sorry,
blacklisted."
Guys, no.
What?
You guys ruined my chances.
You bastards! I don't know if you heard us say this on the podcast. We always get nervous. Geek gets mad at me because I'll be messaging Shorty on the thing. He'll look because he's like, "Who are you messaging?" As we're on the phone, I'm messaging Shorty, Joe. It's about 7 o'clock at night here, and it's about 11 o'clock in the morning or at night.
It's like 4 in the morning or like
4 in the morning there. She's gonna hate you. She's sitting there in her bed, like wide-eyed, staring at the phone, like.
See, I'm more like the voice of reason.
Little bastards bothering me, but yet I was sitting in my bed just watching TV, and she's sending me I feel like Dustin and the girl from the girl he was talking to. Say it. What? Sing the line. Turn around. I feel like we're Shorty sitting there on the speakerphone talking, and it's funny we're talking, and then we went into how you would say it in English, like in American, how we would say it, how she would say it, and it was hilarious. So, like with us saying our words, so just like sometimes when we would say things on the podcast, would you go, "What? We don't say that here." Do you, like
there's some things, some pronunciations that I think I'm like everyone's entitled to pronounce things how they want, but that's wrong.
Spell check. No.
Armad's just dying right now. Just think that this whole show is funny. And it just
Armad has the typical Long Island Italian accent.
Oh,
it's the whole time. It's oh my God in the background. I can hear her in the back of my mind laughing the whole time. Yeah. So, like, what words were that? What do you remember? What words it was that you were like, "What the heck does that mean?"
Oh, there must be a few. There's some words that I pronounce differently. There's I don't. Do you guys say schedule or do you say schedule?
Schedule.
I say it funny. I do because I'm the type of guy that talks like either Santino Morella or I jokingly talk like what's his face that used to be in WWE that left, and that's like I'm like the Enzo Amore of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll say like how you doing? What is going on over here? Like, I'm the dumbass that'll say the word completely wrong. I'll say schedule.
Yeah, it's schedule.
Yeah.
It's like how you spell soft. It's SAWFT. Soft. I'm like, that's not how you spell soft.
Another one. I know that I'm one of the only people here that does it because everyone can pronounce this word right, and I don't know why I can't pronounce it. If you steal something, you're a criminal or you're a thief. For some reason, when it comes to thief, I don't pronounce the TH. I pronounce it as an F. It's the only word I do that for, and I don't know why I do it.
I just say thief. I used to be a greeter at Walmart for 9 years, Riley. So I would say criminal because I loved watching RoboCop so much. I wouldn't say thief. I would say criminal with the deepest RoboCop voice. Criminal.
Yeah, if I'm gonna say it right, I have to literally sit and be like, right, it's thief, and like properly pronounce it. But if I'm saying it in a normal sentence, it's a thief.
Riley, you've been such a cool guest on this podcast, you know?
So far, we're having a fun time. So, is there any other promotion in England that you're looking to try to get to?
There's a few on my radar. There's a place called Southwest Wrestling. They do a lot of stuff, ironically, in the southwest of England. There's a few guys that I know that wrestle down there. I know the guy that promotes it. He seems like a cool guy. There's other places like Wrestle Island. They do some shows over here. They're pretty good. Obviously, Progress would be a good one.
Progress is on WWE Network now.
Yeah. So. Do you guys watch Progress at all?
I don't watch it, but I've watched. I know a lot of people on it, and I know it's on the WWE Network, right? Is it correct?
Yes, it's still on the network. There was a girl I used to train with. She's called Ronnie Knox. She's been on Progress for like the last 3 weeks, and she lives in London, and we train in Leicester. So there'd be times on a Monday night where she would get the train down from London to Leicester to train for 2 hours to immediately get the train back to London. And I just think she deserves to not just be in Progress, she deserves to be in NXT. Like traveling that far just for a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
Like she's so committed, and she's a very good wrestler as well.
They're actually having an all women's tournament, which is up Joe's alley right there.
Yes, I love they've announced 4 of the 8 women so far, I think.
And I think one of them was supposed to come on our podcast.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that, Joe, or no?
No, which one?
Lizzie.
Sorry, I get very upset when I hear that name because I was so excited because as you know, what our podcast is. Love everybody, but we are It's at Ringside Podcast, the home of champions. I saw all the championship belts on her, and immediately I had like the face of like from Roger Rabbit when the wolf looks like Jessica Rabbit for the first time, and his jaw drops and his mouth opens and the tongue rolls out. I was like,
do you have the Ooga come out?
Yes,
noise.
I can hear the accent in the back of my mind. Dude, the ringside pull past. I'm like, God. All the titles, and like she had titles here on her arms, on her legs, and I'm just like, and then she doesn't tell us anything, and then so.
Oh, that sucks.
And then we got no-showed by another girl. I'm not gonna say names. If you stay around after we're not live, I'll tell you the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so disappointing. And then a few days ago, she tells us something really messed up. So I was like, thanks.
So Rev Pro on your radar too, or
is where? Sorry,
Rev Pro.
I haven't actually thought. Well, realistically, any promotion. So Rev Pro. There's a place called Kamikaze. They do a few shows in like the Midlands area, but I'm just looking to kind of branch out onto different shows. So
CPW,
anywhere I can get.
CPW is another one, right?
Yes, Kiara. She works down there quite a bit. I know Shorty. She's still their champion.
Is she? I don't think she's. I think she had.
They have 2 belts. So they have a women's and then they have a lineal.
Yeah, they have 2 women's belts.
We were so excited when we got Kiara. We're like, yeah, champion. And then we're like, oh my God, we're gonna have both their champions. And then Kiara loses the title. and then slowly starts disappearing. I'm like, what? What? Did Thanos snap his fingers? What happened? And then she loses the title, and I'm like, oh, we lost both our champions. But then I remembered Alfie will be able to defend this tomorrow when she comes on the podcast. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, fans.
Mm-hmm.
She was the longest reigning champion in CPW history.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that's another promotion, CPW and also UK wrestling. That's another one you should check out.
I'll definitely be given a lot of. I really need to kind of research promotions in the area and kind of branch out. I think I need to branch out myself a bit more, definitely. So
there's also Fight Factory. I don't know how far you are from Lincoln.
I think I am about maybe an hour and a half away in the car.
Yeah. So maybe that's something you could check out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Fight Factory is another one.
I just answered the question. I was like, yeah. I don't know why I just answered the question, really. I was like, yeah. I was like, you're Paul Heyman. I'm like, yeah, he'll do that. No, why am I answering Riley's questions? We're so used to having you in the chat, Riley. I'm not
used to it, isn't it?
It's like opposite world right now. We usually have like guests talking about this or that. So what is your like thoughts on intergender wrestling?
I'm all for it, to be honest. I don't really care about the gender of a wrestler as long as they're talented and as long as they can work and they can wrestle. I'm completely fine. If you want to tell kind of the old classic sexist story of man is supposed to be bigger than woman, but woman overpowers him, like, you can do that. I really do not mind, because I think we're at a stage now where we can progress past having a men's division and a women's division, and we can just have them all as one in a way. But I can see why some people would be against it, but I'm one of those that is.
Yeah, here in America, a lot of people are some people are against it in America because they don't believe in it, because because it's not sending the right message, and I completely get it. But at the same time, you want to show that, okay, a woman can defend themselves against a man. That's the message you want.
Just as good, if not better.
Exactly. So
I get we like our past guests, and maybe you were there for that episode or not too sure. Davian, Not America's Sweetheart. Do you remember that episode?
I think I do, yeah.
She just, I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. She just won the men's championship.
Mm-hmm. The main title.
The main title.
Yeah.
So proud of Davian. Yeah. I sent the picture to Geek of her and Becca. She has helping her put her hands up, and she's like, "Oh, you can see in her face. You can see Davian's face." She was like almost here's the red eyes, like she just won a men's title.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I said to Geek, I said, "Oh my God, Davian just won a men's title. That is beautiful."
Yeah, that's awesome.
It adds to our many championships on our wall of fame from different countries now. Yes. Even though it's an American title, but still, it's on the American side of the title. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're collecting your things. Have you ever created yourself in any of the wrestling games?
Yes, every year. I wouldn't even play test the game. I'd play one match to kind of test the mechanics and all that, and then let's go to create a wrestler. Let's create this, and I'd spend maybe 45 minutes creating a wrestler, and then I'd spend maybe 2 hours doing the moveset, and I was like, oh, this move looks cool, let me have that, and it's like a standing 450. I'm like, I can never do that, so let's have it.
I try to make my guy as accurate as possible because I'm short. I can't fly high because I'm big upper body because I did a lot of swimming, and I work at my grocery store, and I do a lot of milk lifting. So I would be able to jump off the top rope and be immediately just boom, gone.
Yeah.
Joe, get up. Everything hurts. So I made myself a grapple, Street Fighter style. I punch you, kick you, and do a lot of fallout moves. I don't know if you heard past episodes. Me and Geek in college would create our wrestlers, and we would play on the weekend from lunchtime, right, Geek?
To hours.
Same match.
Our friends in the chat will be like, you guys done yet? I'm like, no, our guys are like this.
In the center of the ring, we're punching, and then we stop punching some reason because we looked at our buddy Thunderfeet that usually is in the chat with you, and he would stop. We would stop punching because we're looking at him, and they would just be like this. We were both busted open, like crimson mask, bloody up, blood on our faces, and we're just like, "Okay, you're gonna take the fall?" No. And then I super kick him, and I think he's matching me over, and he's like, "Finally over, got dinner." God damn it! I'm like, oh. We eventually end the match. Yeah.
Riley, do you watch a lot of TV or?
Not as much as I used to watch a lot of TV, kind of anything on TV I'd sit and watch, but now I kind of don't watch as much as I used to. So
I was gonna say, because there's a couple of good shows out there, like Westworld is actually really good.
Oh
Rick and Morty's another good one.
I am still yet to watch Rick and Morty.
I talked about it on the show religiously of how it is the funniest cartoon. It's like some days I'll be watching the show and be like, is this the stupidest cartoon I've ever seen, or is this the smartest cartoon I've ever seen? I really can't decide because the writing in the show is so genius.
Because my sister started watching it, so she put it on Hulu. We started watching it. He's like, Joe's part of our team now. I'm like, I personally think if we did a Halloween costume, I'm short, so I guess I would have to be what's his face.
You'd be Morty. I'll be Rick.
You Morty, yes.
I need to see this now.
But in real life, it'd be opposite because I'm more like the professor. I'm loud. My dirty one-liners, because you know how I am during the podcast.
Joe's always drinking beers.
Oh, I'm always drunk. My dad always used to I'm like, I'm gonna go get a beer as I'm doing the podcast. Like, you're not having a fucking beer during the podcast. You got to represent yourself in the right fashion. I'm like, when this is on Spotify and Geek's dying, when this is on Spotify or like iHeartRadio, I ain't gonna fucking see the beer. They're not gonna gonna just see me talking like, you know.
What beer do you drink though?
Since I told you, I live in Pennsylvania, Yingling.
Oh yeah.
It's good stuff. Like Thunderfeet got me into it. I was like, I heard the name Yingling, and I said, "Now watch, Yingling's gonna be messaging us on Instagram tomorrow." Yes, Yingling, we like you. Can you sponsor us?
Yeah, what kind of beers do they have over in Europe? And anyway,
so I mean, I should know a bit about this because I work part-time behind a bar. So,
oh, you're a bartender.
Yeah,
see,
that's awesome.
past 2 days, I've been pulling pints all weekend.
So. Yeah, Geek works for Coca-Cola, so we're all both in the beverage industry. There we go.
Yes. So I'm trying to go through the bar at the minute. So we have 3 lagers on draft at the minute. We've got Carlsberg, San Miguel, and Peretti. It's Italian, I think that is. We have 2 types of ciders from draft, which is Magnus Dark Fruit and Thatcher's, which I tried for the first time this week, and it is actually really good. We have your typical kind of Guinness. We have your bitters, so we've got Tetley Smooth and Mild, and then we have a wide variety of different like rums and whiskies and bottles of stuff.
So what's kind of like your Budweiser, basically? Like
we have bottles of Budweiser over here. So
you do
Budweiser or Beck's is what most people go for. So
you do have Budweiser over in the UK because when I was over in Israel, when I went to Israel, they had like 2 types of drinks. They had Gold Star, Corona, and then they had something called Tuborg.
I think I've heard of that before.
Tuborg, you heard of?
I think I have, yeah.
What about Gold Star? You ever heard of Gold Star?
No, I've not heard of Gold Star.
That's kind of like their Budweiser. Like that's how popular it is over there. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Tuborg, I don't know. I think it's a German beer, I think.
It sounds German.
Yeah, so.
Oh my God, you got to tell Riley that drink you drank today, Geek.
Which one? Oh yeah. Have you ever had this? It's called a screwball peanut butter and jelly shot.
I've never heard of that before.
No, so it is good. I don't know what makes the jelly, but they put peanut butter whiskey in the drink.
Oh, that's very odd.
It does. It tastes exactly like you're drinking peanut butter and jelly.
I do not like peanut butter, and I do not like jelly.
So you probably won't like it then.
Yeah, no chance.
But
no, did it? Oh, actually, here, Rick and Morty. Speaking of Rick and Morty, I just looked at my wall. My friend makes pins, and this is one of the pins he made.
That is awesome.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
A Ghostbusters. See that on Spotify. Once again, as I do this all the time, and I show something the guests on. Our fans on Spotify and all our places cannot see it. It's a Rick and Morty Ghostbusters pin.
It's a YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook exclusive.
They have to rewatch it to see the pin.
Yeah. He makes pins, and that was like his only pin that wasn't like marijuana referenced. Yeah. I'm not gonna show this pin that he gave me because we'll get flagged. It's a
you can show us afterwards, Joe.
Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. It's a Ghostbusters pin, but has yeah. So before our mod's head explodes ever so spiffy, do you have any pets?
I have one cat. He's not here at the minute. He is, I think, 14 years old now, so he's getting on. But yeah, I have a cat.
Name?
JJ.
Ah. Well, she didn't change her comments, so she must have been not listening. Did you hear what he said? Yeah, the pets. Yay, pets.
Out of 100 episodes, which one? I know you said the Kiara one. Was there another one that you really enjoyed, or?
It's difficult because I forget the names. Your birthday one was a very good one. I sat and listened to that one the day after.
Because you
made me to watch my cameo.
Yeah, your small little cameo. You're like, guys, it's really quiet. All right,
I am here, and then just gone within 5 minutes.
And then you got ripped out by the Tamaku.
I think your battery. You told us your battery died, right?
Yeah, it did. I immediately was like, "Oh my god!" Stick the phone in. I was like, "I've got to drop them a message immediately." Like, you didn't annoy me. My phone just died.
Did you ever after watching any of our shows? Did you ever go up and look up this the American wrestler and be like, "Oh wow, they're pretty good."
Maybe I'll follow them
all the time. Even when you post promos of them, I'll always kind of find the profile. And if I can find one match online just to kind of get the gist of how they wrestle or kind of what character or gimmick they have. But
that's the idea of the show. I mean, we want to get everybody over. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. It's like, we want to get you over. If you have an interesting character, and you want to promote it.
Yeah. Speaking of interesting characters, I've recently just got out of a feud. Well, our last show was March the 1st of 2020, and since December of 2018 to March of 2020, I have been in a feud with a guy called Chocolate Thunder.
Chocolate Thunder. We gotta look this guy up now.
He is our biggest gimmick that we have here, and I've wrestled him a ton. He's amazing to work with, and he's just incredible. I don't know how he came up with it, but he's a genius because he sticks out like a sore thumb, but in the best kind of way. Because people leave the shows thinking, "Wow, I want to see more of that guy," because he's different. So he's got wrestling kind of sorted at this point. But yeah, if you can get him on, try and get him on because he's such a character.
That's a good idea, Joe. Joe, calendar, right?
Calendar. That's another thing I didn't say in this episode. My favorite one of this calendar.
Joe's screaming for his calendar.
There's a few wrestlers that you have to look out for, Riley, on the podcast. We're having Billy Stark, which she's a big female wrestler in America. She's everywhere. When I got the email that she's coming, I was with Geek in the car going to the NYWC show, and we got Billy. I almost cried. I'm like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Billy Stark just asked if she can." what date are available? Calendar, where are you? At home in my room on the floor in the corner. No. Okay, give her the 16th. She'll be fine.
Another one is Karen Bam Bam's another one.
Karen Bam Bam. Oh my God! If you ever had to fight her, I would have to do the. Well, we would have to get you a priest, the blessed, because Queen hits the Queen hits really hard.
Oh.
Yeah, that's her gimmick. That's her gimmick. The Queen. She's the Queen.
She's the Queen. But I don't know how tall are you? How tall are you, Riley?
I am 6'2".
Oh, she'd be hitting on you. She'd be like, "You're so cute, you and your accent. Look at that." She's from the Bronx, so she'd be like, "Oh, you're so cute in that little British accent. I'm just gonna crush you and make you feel like I'm gonna crush." Oh wait, but Meme Mania wants to ask a question.
That's a great one with the favorite wrestlers growing up.
Favorite wrestler growing up, it changed so much. Like I literally had a new favorite wrestler like every month. So one that always stuck out to me was the Big Boss Man. I used to watch all his old stuff. I thought he was just so agile for a guy of that size. And then when he came back in the Attitude Era and did all the hardcore stuff, I thought that is incredible. Gangrel was another one I really liked, mainly for that amazing entrance and the spitting blood and the Ring of Fire. I love that.
And also the blood coming out of the ceiling.
Yes.
That was a crazy.
What did you think about Edge's entrance at Survivor Series?
SummerSlam.
Oh, I loved it. I heard the music and I thought, oh, he's actually doing this. And then the fire emerged. I was like, it's happening. It's that scene from The Office.
He comes out of the fire.
Where the office goes mental and he's like, everyone stay calm. I was like, that was me in that moment.
You know what's funny? That's me. Anytime a big wrestler messages us asking what the date is, that's the thing exactly when I said to Geek.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
It's happening. Everyone stay calm.
I'm freaking out in my room going, calendar. Right now here. Oh, calendar. Okay. We have.
What date do we have? Oh, okay.
I'm sitting looking at my email in Geek's car outside this church going, oh my goodness. Not trying to say the God word outside of a church. I'll melt in the seat. Oh, another one. Geek. Well, Meme Mania is on a roll today.
He's like his favorite wrestler was always Macho Man.
Oh, that is pretty cool. That is very cool. I've watched some of his old matches. The retirement match with Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7, I think it was. That was a really good match. His matches with Flair, they were always great as well. So yeah, he was a very, very good wrestler.
If you're a big fan of the Big Boss Man, you should definitely check out his match at SummerSlam 91 against the Mountie, the Jailhouse match.
I haven't seen that one yet. And
if you lived in America, I would give you permission to borrow my SummerSlam anthology I had.
Oh yeah.
I have it from 88 all the way to 92.
Oh damn.
Yeah. That's how much of an old school. Remember, I always say I'm certified old school. That's my old school thread right there. I want to find the thread that I just said with SummerSlams. I want to find the Survivor Series like that.
Yeah.
Because you just watch. You may even be able to find it on the network. The Jailhouse match.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's funny when you see it. I'm gonna tell you, there's two cops that arrest the loser. Those were both my dad's best friends.
Were they actually?
Yes, they worked for my dad. Yeah, my dad was a corrections officer till right around September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
He retired after 21 years of being a correction. He didn't go out on the streets, but he was a jailer. So if you got arrested, he'd be the one that fingerprinted you and said, "Don't drop soap, night." Like that. He did that for a living. So yeah.
You know how the show works, Riley. I'm going to ask one of the best questions. Do you have any stories from the ring?
Stories from the ring. I don't. The thing is, I've not been wrestling that long, so I don't have many. I'll tell one.
Do you have stories from training at least, or?
I have a few stories I can tell. There was one we did. The last show we did, we were in a place called Ibstock, and it was our first show there. And for this particular place, because it was a theatre, we had a curtain on the stage, and we all got changed behind. So we come out through the curtain, and it was like other places we weren't able to do that. So we had a camera set up in the corner to video the ring so we could watch the matches from backstage and get a different view. And Gareth, the promoter, comes up to me and he's like, "Right, we have a big predicament." And I was like, "What's going on?" It was like, there's a cable to connect the camera to the TV, and he's left it at his house in Wigston. He was like, "Can you go and get it for me?" I was like, "Yes, there's a big issue. I do not drive, so it's going to be at least a 6-hour walk." And he was like, "Okay, take Ilano with you." So me and Ilano, we go, so we drive off to Wigston and we're coming back. And he's champion at this point, so he's main event. I'm in a 6-man tag. I was meant to be kicking off the show, but because of this, I was now in the semi-main event spot.
Better.
And as we're driving back, we almost got into a car crash on the way back.
Oof.
Like, guy pulled out in front of us, and we were like, we kind of stopped for a second, and we were both kind of like, we kind of don't want to get into a car crash, not for our own health. That I want to go and wrestle. I don't want to be stuck next to a broken down car. But so we get back. Doors open at 6, and the show starts at 6:30. And we get to the venue about 10 to 6, and Ilana Stone wears a mask, so no one knows what his face looks like. So as we drive into Ibstock, we see this huge queue of people outside the venue, and he's not got his mask on. So we're like, we need to make sure that no one sees you. So he's behind the steering wheel, kind of ducking his head down a little bit so no one sees him. And I'm just kind of there like, yep, it is me in a Tesla, auto pilot mode. No one can see this man. So yeah, it's not that interesting, but it's kind of a story. So
that's a great story, though.
Still good.
Yeah, it's still a story. There you go.
That is true.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be like an amazing story, as long as it's a story and something good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all that counts.
You know, it's funny. Like, me and Geek always dissect the show afterwards on the phone, and he's gonna yell at me, "Joe, he hasn't been in the business that long. He's only 19 years old. He's a teen. Dude, shut up. He messaged us and he wanted to be on our podcast. Shut up. He's a fan of ours too."
What other stories do I've got some training ones. I injured myself a day before a show. So doing a thing, you kick the guy in the stomach and you kind of forward roll over the muscle and over. So I do the forward roll and I land on my toes, but the rest of my body comes with it. So my full body weight goes onto my left foot and I just hear this loud crack. And I'm like, okay, that really hurts. And I go to walk off and my foot limps. I'm like, yep, my foot is in incredible amount of pain right now. I can barely walk on it. And I was like, but I have a show tomorrow. So I literally like masked it as much as I could. So like I limped for the first step and was like, I can't do that again or else I'm not gonna be on the show. So I'm like walking normally. I do it 2 times more. And the guy that's training me, he sees like the grimace of pain on my face and he just looks at me. He's like, go and sit down. Just go and sit down and get it sorted. So I went to the hospital that night. I hadn't broken anything, which was great. I couldn't walk on it right for about a week. And yeah, that was the first time I ever had to sit out a show. It was horrible. I hated it so much.
It's always sad because like if you're a young wrestler, I feel like I'm talking like a dog today. Floofs. Like if you're a young wrestler and you get hurt, then you're gonna get knocked out of the roster and you won't be able to wrestle. Then people will see you and get your name out there. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then somebody's gonna take your spot and be like, great.
That was the worst part. Seeing, because I was in a tag match and we'd planned some of the stuff because we'd been working on it through the week. We'd learned a new tag spot and we all agreed a few days before, like, right, we're gonna do this as the finish to the match. And then I got injured and I'm just sat there and I hear the music hits. I'm like, I was meant to be in this. And I'm there, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, I work for Coca-Cola. So like I was saying, I can't imagine the pain you guys go through. But yeah, like I'm lifting and pushing heavy pallets all day long. So I mean, well, sometimes when I try to get up out of bed, I have this stump in my knee where it's like, geez, what's that pain? So, but that's like from pushing the pallets all day long. So I can only imagine what you guys go through all the time.
I got in a training session. I got knocked out a few weeks ago. So we have this spot we call it double duck hop baseball slide. Duck to hop over, baseball slide through, and then you do what you want. Usually it's a kick and then you do something. So there's some of us that kick and then do a neck breaker, or there's a lad called Richard who does an amazing like drop kick to the side, and it looks so smooth. And I was doing it with this guy, and I was like, what do you want to do? He was like, I'll kick you in the stomach, I'll then kick you in the chest to send you upwards, and then I'll clothesline you. So spot's going fine. We're doing it fast paced because we've both been doing it for ages. And then he kicks me in the stomach, and I'm waiting for the kick to the chest. So we usually go to the left, but I never know which side he's going. So I kind of half turn my face, expecting the kick to go there, and he goes right down the middle and caught me right on the jaw, which just sent me up and just sent me straight back down to the floor. Like I was out for about 10 seconds and got back up. Like I had a swollen lip. Thankfully, nothing was like I hadn't had any teeth kicked out or anything was bloody, but I was completely fine. Like if it happened in a match, it would be one of those where I'm like, yeah, let's carry on. But since it was training, I was like, I'll just sit this out for the next 10 minutes or so.
Do you have any upcoming shows you want to promote? Or
I do, yes. October 10th is our next show in Wigston, back at one of the best venues that we have. Sorry to the other venues, but the crowds there are amazing. It'll be our first show back in 18 months.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been a long
time.
That's
what also I was going to ask you. It's like, how is the pandemic right now in you're in England right now?
Yeah, we're pretty much almost out of it at this point. Masks aren't mandatory anymore. A lot of people have had the vaccines. So we're pretty much almost back to normality at this point. But there's rumours England might get put in a week-long lockdown in October for some reason. But me personally, I don't think it will happen.
That's kind of like us. Like there's rumors right now. Like we were good for a while, and then now it's starting to spike back up with the new variant. So it's kind of like
kids going back to school too.
So
So
we don't know what's going to happen in the fall. What's going to happen, but we're good right now, though.
Well, that's the best part.
Out of all the male guests or female guests that you've watched on our podcast, which is the one you would want to just say, I'm coming to the States and I'm wrestling blank?
I seriously, I cannot remember the guy's name. He was on the birthday thing, and he's the guy with Tama something.
Tamaku.
That guy. After seeing him on that show, I was like, I want to wrestle him so badly.
Oh God, I wish his face would just pop up.
I hope he comes in our chat, because sometimes
you summoned me.
He comes in our chat sometimes and say, I want to fight you.
Oh yeah, I want him to drop that message right now.
We want to have the Tamaku versus
Riley Measures.
Riley Measures.
Yes.
Have you looked him up after the podcast, or?
That was one of the few I haven't yet, so I need to look him up at some point.
But
yeah. And also, I guess you want to wrestle Mr. Chad Epic also. Just want to nail him.
Yep. Definitely, yes, 100%.
Would you grab him by his beard, then punch him in the face, or would you just grab him by his shoulders and just punch him?
If Chad and Tamaku teamed up, who would be your tag team partner?
Oh, I'd take him on alone.
Oh, handicap match. Oh,
why not? Let's drag them both down.
That'd be hilarious. Tamaku's face just pops in. How could you say that? I'm coming to England.
I'd love it if both of them were in the same room and they appear on the same screen, and it's like, oh yeah, this is happening.
But we gotta make that happen now. We gotta have us all on the screen.
Oh, here we go. Meme Mania is getting mad. We're not talking about wrestling. What is your finishing move?
My finishing move. I've had so many different finishing moves. When I first started, it was a discus clothesline, simple, can be hit on anyone. I then, because I was a fan of the Boss Man, I had a Boss Man slam, and that's what I used to win my first match. I used that for a while. I went through some. I've still got a submission one that I use, which is like I think I haven't posted it on my wrestlers page. I posted it on my private page. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I'll send a video of it in the chat.
We can't find any of your matches, to be honest. It's hard to find your matches.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. If you type in FTGU Wrestling, there's a whole YouTube channel on there. There's a lot of matches there. And now it's a end of days kind of move.
Oh, it's like you go like this way and then like almost like that way.
How Baron Corbin kind of goes fully back, I cut an angle. So I'm going from, instead of straight back, I go kind of 90 degrees.
To be honest, I used to love that move, the end of days. I thought that when that move first came out, I thought that move was awesome.
Amazing. The one he hit on Chad Gable at NXT TakeOver, where he flips him up from the power slam and spins him immediately into it. I love that version so much.
I could see it now, Riley, because you're such a big fan of the Big Boss Man. On Halloween, you just come out with his theme song, and you just come running out to the ring like the Boss Man.
I'd be singing along to it.
You know what's funny? You're gonna laugh. As I said, my dad was a jailer. I needed a cool song from my dad. Originally, I was gonna have the Cop Bad Boys theme, and the first theme that comes in my head to record off of YouTube to have on my cell phone, the Big Boss Man theme. So I'm sitting in the middle of the store, and all of a sudden, you hear the whole that long guitar riff, and then it goes into the guy singing, and I'm like, everybody's looking at me like, the hell's that? And it stops. I didn't pick it up because I was just listening to singing the song, the Big Boss Man. I'm not going to sing, hit with a copyright strike.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad's like, why didn't you pick up the phone? You know I called you. And I was like, I was singing a song. What song were you singing? And I pushed the button, and he went, that sounds like a redneck song. Change that. That sounds like a country song. Find another song for me. That sounds like such a redneck song. Big Boss Man. I'm like, you're a former cop. And he's like, Daddy Panther was not impressed. I got the shame. Yeah. What else we got?
All right. I got one more question though.
Oh, nice.
If you could face anyone from AEW, who would you face?
Oh, AEW. Oh, I don't know many people from AEW. Let's think. Who do I know? Luchasaurus, mainly for the mask. He looks amazing. I've seen some of his matches, and he's just a great wrestler. But probably Luchasaurus for me.
Well, I got one more. If there's a little boy or a little girl that says, I want to become a professional wrestler, what would you tell them as advice?
Stick with it. No matter how difficult it is, always stick with it. I remember I was year 5. I don't know what kind of grade that is for you guys. So I must have been about 9 years old, 9 or 10. And we're going around the class, and everyone was saying what they wanted to be when they were older. So a lot, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a policeman. It got to me, and I said, I want to be a professional wrestler. And the whole class started laughing at me. And I'm kind of there, like 10-year-old me, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then my teacher, I'll never forget this, he looked me in the eye and went, you may want to be that, but that is very unrealistic. And I was like, okay, yep, we're going to try not to cry in front of everyone. But yeah, so that stuck with me.
That's horrible.
I think about that every time that I go to training or I wrestle. So just block out, if anyone that is listening to this or watching that wants to be a wrestler and is training, try and train as much as you can. And the best thing to do is when you're not in the ring, just always watch. I've learned so much from just watching other people wrestle, even if it's the smallest thing of their footwork on that move was a little bit dodgy. You pick up so much stuff just from watching. I had glandular fever 2 years ago, so I was out for 3 months. I couldn't wrestle at all for 3 months. Mm-hmm. And when I was, for the first 3 weeks, I wasn't even able to get out of bed. It was so bad. I after about a month or so, I started going and just sitting in once a week and watching the training sessions with kind of the new guys. And it was just it really opened my eyes at that point to kind of see, like, these are the kind of mistakes that they're making. Here's the constructive feedback that I can give them, but I'm also taking something from them. Of like, oh, this is how I would do this differently. It kind of engages your brain a bit more. So in short, the best advice you can do is stick with it and just constantly watch and just put as much effort into it as you can.
Yeah. Well, also, we asked you if there's any upcoming shows. Is there anything you want to promote before we go? Because I know it's late over there.
We've got the October 10th show. We have two more shows
for you,
that.
Social medias or anything?
Oh, social media. Yeah. So the only social media I really use, I have a Facebook, which is Riley Measures Wrestler. I haven't posted on that for 2 years. So
wow.
I need to get back on that. But mainly the Instagram at Riley_Measures_Wrestler. That is where I post a lot of my stuff and promote a lot of shows or anything like that on there. So if you want to catch up on anything that I'm doing, that's the place to find me.
Cool.
Yeah, we want to thank you so much for coming on our podcast, Riley. We know it's late over there, and
we know not a problem, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been on my bucket list to be on a podcast as well. It's something I've always wanted to go on. So
and also you're on a podcast that you've listened to and watched like almost every episode of our podcast, and that's where we're so.
I think one of the times we went really late, I forgot. I was like, Riley was the first one. And I was like, Riley is like, he mentioned something. I'm like, oh crap, you're still up, man.
I have notifications on for this podcast, so whenever a podcast starts, I get the notification of dudes at ringside are streaming now. Come along and say hi. I'm like, yes, you know what? I'll take that advice.
Yeah.
I try to tell Geek to change the notification, like ringside crew, we're here. Come sit down. Make it sound like the notification's talking.
That's the name of our fan base right there, is the ringside crew.
Yeah.
So.
I remember when you made the video for us, you were like, hey, I'm Riley Measures from across the pond.
And so coming at you from across the pond.
Coming at you from across the pond.
I've got to lean into the fact that I'm across the pond at some point.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get. We got Alfie's promo. I can't wait to get Shorty's. I'm like, please, Shorty, please. And it's funny. She doesn't have a normal pet. She has like something cool. It's not like anything weird. It's like
it's on her Instagram anyway.
She's an owl.
I follow her on Instagram.
So. The girl has an owl. How cool is that?
She has an owl.
The girl has an owl. Didn't you see the owl?
It sits on her shoulder.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I haven't actually seen that, but that is amazing.
That is the coolest looking at. Well, hopefully, right now she's not getting her door kicked in. Animal services. Oh
my god! I just immediately think Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's little, so it's like she's part of Hogwarts. Hogwarts is going to kick her window in, steal her owl, and then she'll be like,
Hagrid's going to bust her door.
Like, that's my owl.
Mine. But it's funny because, as she said, she doesn't have the typical proper British accent. It's kind of like, as Geek would say, it's not like Kiara's. That's like proper.
Yeah. Proper. Yeah.
I try. Here we go. You just heard my impressions. I always do my impressions.
He does all impressions all the time. And one of these days, I keep telling him, it's going to get you in trouble, Joe.
Well, you know, one thing I didn't do, Riley, that I've done on every episode.
What's that?
Is the one thing I do for every wrestler.
The think.
You have not been finked yet. So would you like me to fink you?
Yes.
With the Howard Finkel.
Yes, please do.
I have my water. Coming down the aisle from London, England, Riley Measures.
It was also
awesome.
You do a great job, but I remember when Jason was on our podcast, and he did
amazing.
He's like, I forgot he put more emphasis, and he's like, Riley Measures, like that. You know?
Yeah. sometimes I really can get into it. Sometimes I go into such a black hole when I do it. I have to get myself out of my own body and just do it. Sometimes I have to really say their names the right way, and I have to be able to enunciate. And I also live in my parents' basement, and sometimes my parents gave me this sound canceling foam that's in front. You can't see it, but it's in front behind my ring light, right there.
So why don't you show us, Joe?
Why don't you show us? Everything. I'll blind him. That's my ring light right there above my computer. So yeah, thank you so much, Riley. We really appreciate you coming on. Please tell more people from FTGU. Tell them we'd be happy to interview them, even though we're kind of Geek will kill.
We're really put, but
yeah, they're
in the middle of British Wrestler Week.
But what was the wrestler you recommended? They said Thunder, Chocolate.
There's a few I can recommend to you. Chocolate Thunder, Ilana Stone, and Richard Walker. Those are three that I highly recommend.
We have to get Ilana Stone before they get rid of NXT UK. We need to get her.
That's the rumor right there. That's the rumor, right?
Yeah.
Here's another question. I'm sorry, one more question. I know it's
late, no worries.
But if they did get rid of NXT UK, where's your backup plan?
I'd stick to England, go around the Indies, maybe spend a few years going around a bit in Canada, because in Canada they speak. I know there's a lot of Canada that speaks French, so it'd be nice to kind of go there, do a bit, go around Europe, maybe a bit of Spain, a bit of Germany, a bit of France, places like that. Then I've always wanted to go to Japan, so being able to go to Japan for leisure and to wrestle would be incredible.
Yeah, Mia says Martin Kirby's also great.
Yes, I've seen a little bit of his stuff, and I was very impressed with what I saw. He's very good.
And you missed Bad Bone. He was from Germany. You missed talking to him on the podcast.
Bad Bones, isn't it? Yeah.
He was great on our podcast, man. We were just having fun.
Oh my god, we were talking, and he gave us. He did. You saw the promo? Did you see the promo? He did it in English, and then he did it in German.
Yes, he did two, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did two. I said, "Can you make two? One in English, one in German." He's like, "I got it, guys. Not now, but tomorrow." I'm like,
"He's like, it's 4 a.m. here in Germany." He's like, "I can't do it now." So I'm like,
well, I also want to confirm that we will be having our first ever wrestler from Sweden on the podcast in October 20th.
Nice.
Yeah.
And she has a sword, so if you miss that episode, you get cut in half.
I think I know the lady you're speaking of, because I think I saw. Have you already done a promo for her?
She did a promo for us.
Yeah, because I follow her now, so that's probably where I've seen her. So yeah, I know. I think I know who you're speaking about.
She's not only she won a tournament. She got the trophy, baby. She got that cool trophy, so she could show it on the podcast. I thought she was from England, and then she said something about.
No, she said Swedish wrestler on her Twitter.
And that was and that's why I told her on Instagram, you'll be the very first Swedish wrestler. She's like, oh my God, that's an honor. I was like, yay. Yeah. I'll ask her if she could do it in Swedish. If she comes back and she can make her promo in Sweden.
Do the whole podcast in Swedish. Why not?
Oh no. That
Google
would make
Translate up in the corner. We'll be fine.
We had the girl from Portugal. You missed her too. Oh, we had a Portuguese wrestler that came on the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to a few of these.
Yeah. She was awesome, dude. Yeah. She loved heavy metal. Oh, what kind of music do you go to, Riley? What's your go-to music?
My music taste is all over the place. Mainly a lot of Eminem.
Wow,
Eminem listener.
I can never see you. I thought I would see rock music with you, but Eminem. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What's Eminem song is you the one when you're on the treadmill? What's the song that's in your ears?
Well, religiously before every match, 10 minutes before I get ready to go backstage and go behind the curtain, I sit in the corner, don't speak to anyone, stick my earphones in, and play "Lose Yourself" from 8 Mile.
Oh yeah,
I always listen to that song, and that puts me in the zone, and I'm ready.
That's definitely
for me.
That's a zone match right there to get you ready for anything.
For me, Toy Soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good song as well.
Oh, and plus I'm a guy wrestler, so I'm a big fan of Linkin Park. Mm-hmm. And the song that me and everybody knows from me, if you hear it, now you're gonna think of me every time. Points of Authority.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, dude, that point of authority. That as soon as you hear that, I think of myself jumping out of the pool like Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
For me, I am a huge Korn fan.
I don't listen to Korn either.
What?
I know of them.
I'm at it.
First time I ever saw Korn, I saw it with Joe, but I didn't see it with Joe. I wasn't sitting with him, but we were at the same show. I'm like, dude, that show was amazing.
Oh, it was awesome.
Korn?
That's when Snoop Dogg was there, right?
What?
Snoop Dogg was at that one, right?
Snoop Dogg and Linkin Park.
Oh yeah, we have the funny story about the Snoop Dogg with that show. We'll, if you stay around when we're off the air, I'll have to tell you my Snoop Dogg story.
I can stay around for a little bit afterwards, but not too
long. All right, guys,
It's not appropriate, to be honest.
Well, that's why I'm saying I can't show you the pins I have right on my desk. I can't even tell you the story we're live. All right, guys. Riley, just say goodbye to our fans really quick.
Yes, lovely. If you guys already know my social media by now, so you should be following it already. If you're not, after this podcast, please go and follow it. Thank you guys for listening or tuning in wherever you have. I will hopefully see you guys in a bit, and thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you so much. Take care, Riley.
Yes, you guys too.
Yep.
What a great guest, right?
That was so fun. We went everywhere. We went squirrel, then the other way squirrel, and then squirrel.
It was like three dudes hanging out right there.
Squirrel, bird, squirrel, squirrel, girl.
But, anyway, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Louisiana needs your help. Please help our friends and family out in Louisiana. They have no water, no food, no power. Please help them out. Donate to the Red Cross. Donate whatever you can, please. Joe?
Well, we will be here tomorrow with our buddy Alfie. Just as Geek says, donate to the Red Cross and make sure you help us buddies from Louisiana. And this upstate New York's having trouble with the pandemic. And we will see you tomorrow for episode 89 for Alfie. Good night, everybody.